Welcome back to another video. Today's video was inspired by a conversation I had with a buddy of mine. We were talking about the different things that we could do to stay healthy while doing the things that we all do. If you're like me, an independent content creator who runs your own small business or production company, you will quickly understand the long hours that we put in while on set and how those long hours translate into days and nights in post-production. So in today's video, I want to share some healthy post-production tips to help you relieve some of the stress that your body has to endure during those long editing sessions. If you're not an editor, don't worry. These tips will apply to anyone who sits in front of their computer for more than 30 minutes any given day. So let's get started and roll the intro. Shout out to today's sponsor, FlexiSpot. I'll tell you more about them in a few. Let's go over 10 post-production tips that can help you stay healthy as we put in long hours at our desk. I'm going to start with the most controversial tip, the one that a lot of YouTubers lead with on so many videos. I'm talking about coffee. Tip number 1, stay hydrated. Why is that so controversial, you say? Caffeine or caffeinated products don't hydrate you. Rather, they dehydrate you. The best way to stay hydrated is to drink water. I personally drink 2.5 to 3 liters of water during a normal 8 to 10 hour workday. There are multiple benefits to staying hydrated, which leads me to tip number 2. Stay active. If you're staying hydrated, that will help encourage you to stay active. Consider this. Choose to use the washroom that is furthest away from your desk. If it's on a different level, choose to take the stairs. Whatever you can do to stay active. What I do is combine the two. I stay hydrated, but only drink cold water. I usually cycle 3 bottles for my workday and keep 2 in the fridge at all times. If the water that I have on my desk reaches room temperature before I finish it, I will put that bottle back in the fridge and pull out a cold bottle. I got rid of the mini fridge in my studio, which now forces me to walk up a flight of stairs to reach the lunchroom's refrigerator. Tip number 3, stand up and walk every time you're on the phone. Every time I take a phone call, I stand up and walk circles around my studio or in a zigzag pattern. Anything to keep me moving while I'm on the phone. It helps me focus on the conversation while I stay active and get my blood circulation going. Better blood flow will make you much more productive as you work at your desk. Tip number 4, don't eat at your desk. Not even a snack. Snacking while working at your desk is, generally speaking, a bad decision because, well, you're not focused on how much you're eating, for starters, because we're focused on work. And maybe it's just something that's a little bit more sensitive to me because I'm now at an age group where I have friends who are dealing with health concerns like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes. These are friends that share very similar work lifestyles. So tip number 5, don't skip meals. Whenever possible, don't skip meals. By not eating or snacking at your desk, you'll be more motivated not to skip a meal, which helps you stay active by getting up and walking from your desk to go prepare a meal or have a meal. You can build on the benefits by making lunch your time to interact and socialize with other people. It's also a good idea to compartmentalize activities. When you're at your desk, you're there to work. When you're having a meal, it's not time to work. Super simple concept, but it is amazing how much mental freedom it can actually provide. We've covered the first 5 out of 10 healthy production tips. Stay hydrated, stay active, stand up and walk while you're on the phone, Don't eat at your desk, and don't skip any meals. Before we continue, let me tell you about today's sponsor, FlexiSpot. I was in the market for a new SitStand Desk for my studio. I knew that I wanted a wood surface for my desk because of the aesthetics as well as the strength. I'm putting my Mac Pro XDR display on it, and I needed it to be strong enough to support the weight, as well as stable enough for me not to cause shake or vibration as I'm typing on the keyboard. I also wanted a surface area that didn't make my desk feel cluttered, because a cluttered desk for someone like me is distracting to the point that I lose all creativity and productivity. It was also important to me that my desk was made of sustainable, environmentally friendly materials. And of course, my desk had to look great. I went with the FlexiSpot Kana Bamboo Stand Desk E7. I love the attention to detail with all the soft round edges. The build quality is terrific. You can see how well it complements my Mac Pro and Pro XDR display. I have everything I need to have productive desk time sessions. This desk helps me stay active by allowing me to sit and stand throughout my day. If I'm on a Zoom call, I switch to stand mode. If I'm programming or mixing, it's back to sit mode. And the dual motors are quiet. So if you have more than one of these desks in the same space, you won't cause distractions. Of course, this desk offers multiple memory settings for different heights. I programmed 1 for sitting, 2 for standing, and 3 for live streaming. I should mention that you're not purchasing someone else's idea of the desk that you should have. When you shop FlexiSpot, you have the ability to select the size of your desk surface, the finished materials, the color of the legs, casters, cable management, and many more options. I'll leave a link in the description so that you can see how far you can go with customizing a desk that works for you in your space. If you're in the market for a sit-stand desk, you're in luck. FlexiSpot's Brand Day Savings event is going on right now. You can get up to $200 off your order. They only do this once a year, so why not save yourself some cash? Links in the description in case you're interested. Now back to healthy production tips. Tip number 6. This one might be more obvious than you think, but we all need to take brain breaks. There's a reason why many of us start off the day with lots of energy, and as the day moves on, we get less and less accomplished. Mental fatigue is real, and it adds to the stress of knowing that we're becoming less productive, because deadlines are deadlines, and for many of us, it affects our livelihood. This is why it's important to remember to take brain breaks. Here's how I do it. I structure my day around activities: a breakfast break, lunch break, pick up the mail, make a bank run, work out, run errands, basically anything that allows me to reduce my screen time. I stagger these activities in a way that gives me the ability to be productive for 2 to 3 hours continuously while at my desk, and then take me away from my desk for a minimum of 30 minutes. I look at it almost like a reward for being productive for that block of time. Blocking time to be productive and get away from the screen is in large part why we can get through so much of our production on a weekly basis. And it's also rewarding to know that we finished or accomplished the week's production goals. Tip number 7, pay attention to your posture. Posture helps keep your body healthy and pain-free. If you're a teenager, this will matter more to you later on in life. I try to always keep my feet flat on the floor when sitting and allow my back to be supported by my core. This helps me ensure that I don't slouch or roll my shoulders forward. It's all muscle memory now because I never think about it. But I also don't ever end a marathon editing session with a headache or neck pain. Tip number 8, cheap chairs will hurt you. I've been there. I bought a cheap office chair from Office Max or Office Depot. I honestly can't even remember. It felt great at first, and the fact is that I didn't know what I didn't know. My lack of experience allowed me to think that cheap chair thing was normal. When you have a chair that supports you properly, it helps your posture. It keeps your body temperature balanced. and it properly supports your back and your arms. And after you've sat in a good chair, you'll quickly realize that you can never go back to a cheap chair. Also, good chairs know that all chairs do not fit all bodies. The better chair companies actually have different size chairs to fit different size people. Similar to how not everyone wears a size 11 shoe. And that chair size difference is much more significant than what you might imagine. So save up and buy a chair that helps you rather than is working every day to hurt you a little bit more. Tip number 9, a SitStand Desk. I want to make sure that this point is crystal clear. Just like sitting for long periods of time can hurt you, the same is true for standing for similarly extended periods of time. So the benefits of a SitStand Desk is just that, having the ability to switch from sitting or standing throughout your day, so that no single activity dominates or restricts your posture. Our bodies function better when we have good circulation. Switching from sitting to standing helps our hearts work at a non-sleep state. And this is why our bodies respond feeling less fatigued and with more energy. This back here was the last desk that needed to be upgraded throughout the entire company, Media IQ, and my home. It was totally worth the investment. Tip number 10 is going to try to help you save some cash, because obviously upgrading everything costs money. So my suggestion as tip number 10 is to look for ergonomic work environment grants. So let me say that one more time. Look for ergonomic work environment grants, because there may be grants available in your area that apply to you even if you work from home. Seriously, run a Google search for work environment grants and see if any are being offered at your city or your state level. I've had clients leverage these types of grants to retrofit or completely furnish their entire staff with everything from proper height monitors, SitStand desks, chairs made for the right size and shape of a person who's going to be actually sitting in it. And the fact is that what do you have to lose? It's worth checking into. I need to tell you that the contents of this video is not intended to provide health advice in any way. My list of 10 healthy production tips is intended for entertainment purposes only. These are tidbits that my team and I have found helpful over the years. Thanks for watching and take care.